Hello world! Today we are going to talk about eyeshadow placement strategy. Hey everybody, Shelly here, and today I've got part 2 of my eyeshadow placement basics series. And if you missed the first video, I will link it down below. Go back and check that out. I go through all of the terminology and the terms that we're going to use for how to place color, measuring out where to place color, all that stuff is in the first video. So I've got a total of 4 different looks for this series to show you different ways that you can use it as strategies and sort of templates for your own eyeshadow. This works with any set of colors. You do not have to use the colors or the palettes that I am demonstrating. That's sort of the magic of this. The idea is to have a template to go by and a set of strategies that you can use to work with any palette or any eyeshadow color. So stick around and keep on watching if you would like to see part 2 of eyeshadow placement strategies. Next, we're going to use our measure of thirds and do a multicolor look that takes advantage of those measurements. And we're going to use the Kat Von D Metal Matte palette for this one. Specifically, I'm going to be using Silk and Fringe, these two colors here. And then the metals, these purple colors, we've got Volt, Twinkle, and this one is Glitz. So these are going to be the primary colors that we dip into for this one. I've reapplied my primer. I'm going to start with my fluffy brush and dip into Fringe for our transition. I like to do my transitions first, maybe with the exception of a smoky eye, but I find that usually having a transition color in place does exactly that. It helps everything transition from one color to the next. So that's what I do. I like my fluffy brushes for transition because they let me get that nice soft gradient up to the brow bone, and it just diffuses everything out really nicely. You don't have to be too precise on the lid with your transition because you're going to end up covering it up with more shadows anyway, but this just helps to sort of get everything nice and smooth and transition-y, because that's a word. Yeah. Next up, I'm going to go into the crease with something a little bit darker. I'm going to use that Sigma E25 brush again. I'm going to start with Silk, this slightly darker purple shade here, sort of a lavender. And again, I'm keeping it lower. I don't want to cover up what I did with my transition, just keeping it in the actual crease area. The transition will be the softness that goes from the crease upward, and so this just stays in the crease. A little bit more, I think. Give it just a little more depth. Now you can go darker in your crease if you like. I'm just going to start out with this. Layering ends up being really a key to getting smooth transitions between your colors. Now for my lid and my outer third, I'm going to start by putting down ribbon, this dark purple, in my outer third of my eye, and then I'm going to go in with the metals, because what I really want is, again, a smooth sort of transition from one to the next, so I think that is going to help me get it. I'm going to use another one of my Real Techniques small shader brushes with this ribbon, and this is also going to give me the opportunity to bring it a little bit into the outer part of my crease, to give me a little more definition going on in this outer part of the crease. I'll still need to go in with a blending brush because this brush does not quite blend as well as I need it to, but it's good for placing color down in a smooth way. So I've got some color placed into that outer part of the crease, and now I'm going to go back with that Sigma E25 and just blend a little bit of that ribbon into the crease. I'm not taking it all the way to the center of my eye or to the inner corner. I just want the dark emphasis on this outer part of my eye, the outer third basically. So that's got a little bit of just mapping out some of the color. And another Real Techniques small shader brush. I'm going to do my outer third with this color Volt. This is, if not my favorite color in this palette, it is way up there in closeness to being my favorite color. It might be my favorite color. It's so pretty. And I'm going to go right over where I started with Ribbon. And I'm thinking outer 7. You might be thinking outer V if you don't have these drooping issues. I'm thinking outer 7. So I'm kind of starting at that point in my crease and making the stick of the 7, and then just giving a little bit of measurement into that top part of my crease to make the 7. Now I'm just filling it in because I want this to be sort of outer third, not just outer corner. So it's like make your 7 and then fill it in. I'm using more of a patting than I am swiping because these metals really lay down nicely when you pat them in and get a good bit of color going. Oh, this color is so pretty, I can't even handle it. So pretty. Now for my third, we're going to go basically dark, medium, light. And you're going to just want a bunch of flat shadow brushes for this. This is an Ulta small eyeshadow brush. The center, I'm going to use that color Twinkle. This one's so pretty too. This whole palette, I don't like to use the word obsessed, but I'm kind of obsessed. So using my pupils as a measurement, I'm basically starting from the outer pupil and I'm going to go to the inner pupil. And just kind of use that as your measurement. Now, you could do this as just a tiny little dome of color, or you can take it all the way up to your crease. Either way works. It's just a different look. One is a little more subtle and one is a little more ba-bam in your face kind of thing. And pack that color down. Don't yet worry too much about blending because we're going to come back in and fix the blend between the dark and the light on this side. So just go over so they overlap a tiny bit, and we'll go back and bring some of the darkness back in. Layering is your friend. I don't want to go all the way into my crease because I don't want shimmer up on the hood of my lid. So I'm stopping right where my crease starts. We will blend that all together and bring everything into place. But that is that sort of shimmer on the lid. And now I need one more small shadow brush. This one, what am I grabbing? Oh, this is an It Cosmetics, same kind of thing, just a flat small shadow brush. And we're going to go into Glitz for the inner third. And this color also works great as an inner corner highlight. It's just like, oh, let's just do the inner corner. Let's just do it. Again, don't get it up into the crease. You just want to keep this on the lid because it's super shimmery. I'm going to get my Sigma E25 back and I'm going to grab that silk color again so we can redefine just a tiny bit this crease and make sure we don't have shimmer going too high. See how it just sort of darkens it up and brings everything sort of together cohesively? I'm going to get a tiny bit of ribbon, the darker purple, and make sure my crease is happy on this side. Get most of the color off your brush over here, and then you can drag it toward the center if you want a little bit more depth. Again, don't go too high. You don't want to ruin your transition. If you do go too high, then just get your transition color back again. That was the fringe that we started with, and your fluffy brush, and just bring just at the top and get yourself a little more if you need to. In this case, I don't really need to, but I wanted to show you. But you can always go back and forth until these colors lay down the way you like them. I'm going to go get that purple again with Volt and just make sure my outer third is as dark as I want it to be. I'm going to take a little Volt over the center So this is a sort of small dome of the highlighted bright color. And then a little bit more bold darkness going on. So you would finish this off, of course, with your mascara, potentially eyeliner. I pretty much always do eyeliner. But that's how you use the thirds to place color. And in this strategy, you're basically just going dark in the outer corner, medium in the middle, light on the inner corner, and then have your transition and a slightly darker crease. I usually use mattes for my transition and my crease. Your lid can be shimmer, it can be matte, it can be whatever you like. And this is probably my pretty much everyday go-to look. You can modify this slightly by only using 2 colors on the lid. I could have taken Twinkle all the way to the inner corner, so it's like your 2/3 of your lid is your lighter or shimmer color, and then the outer third is your darker color, and that works totally fine too. But that's how you can use the rule of thirds for your eyeballs to map out some different colors. There you have it, part 2 of my eyeshadow placement strategies basics series. We'll have 4 of these all together before we move on to talking about color and eye shape and brushes and all kinds of good stuff like that. So leave comments down below if you have any suggestions, things that you struggle with, things that you would like to see in this series. Please leave comments. I will check those out and work on them. Thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to hang out and geek out over makeup with me. Keep your eye out for the next couple parts of the series and subscribe if you haven't already. That will have all of my videos and the next parts in this series pop up in your YouTube subscription feed. Take care of each other. Have a good one. Bye-bye.